Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back, Force here, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about Reaper. With this most recent update, Reaper, of course, got the change to his passive, removing the orbs that gave him health after you killed an enemy, and now replacing it with 20% of his damage done to heroes returned to him back as health. Now, this is a rather significant change, and many people are calling it a buff, which I do certainly agree with. It is clearly overall a buff. Now, when these changes were first announced, we did get some people talking about the fact that in certain situations, this would have meant that he's actually receiving less healing. In particular, anytime you fight any of the 200 health and below heroes in a one-on-one, not accounting for any other factors, if you kill them, you would have received more healing in the past, because the health orbs, when you pick them up, returned 50 health. But now, if you do 200 damage and kill a 200 HP hero, you're only getting 20% of that back, which turns out to be 40 health. So 40 health compared to 50 health, that's less healing. However, it's how that healing is presented to you, and also all of the other factors and all of the other situations that overall make this a pretty clear and big buff for Reaper. And after playing with him, I can certainly say that I think he's feeling a lot better. Now, let's go back to that brief situation here. There's a 200 health hero. You killed them in the past, you got 50 health. Now you're only getting 40 if you do that 200 damage. But you're getting that 40 health while you're fighting them. As you're chipping away and doing damage to them in an engagement, you are healing in the process. And that healing helps offset the damage that they're doing to you, which makes you that much more likely to survive and win. You know, that getting a 50 health globe isn't going to matter if you don't live long enough to kill the person that you're fighting. So getting that health, even if it's a lesser amount of total health during the fight, is obviously much better. But then there's also other situations. What if they've got a Symmetra shield? What if they've got armor packs from Torbjorn? That is additional damage that you'll be working through and getting back as health. So anything that boosts them over that 200 health mark is also going to benefit you in the amount of healing that you receive. And then obviously every hero over 200 HP. Once you start to get to the 300, 400, 500, 600 HP heroes, this change becomes clearly a big thumbs up for Reaper. And in my games, in the matches that I've played, I've really felt the difference. You know, Reaper has always been described as a tank buster, but the interesting thing is, a lot of times, if you are trying to stay in a fight and try to live long enough to continue to be effective, you would have to focus on some of the lower health targets. If there's a Tracer buzzing around, or a McCree, or obviously any healers you focus, because, well, you just do that in general. But the idea of Reaper being built around working down those big chunky health pools of the tanks in this game, but in order to survive long enough to do that, him having to shift his focus, Reaper now can maintain his focus for a tactical reason, and not have to shift focus just because he's trying to get some healing, so he wants to quickly whittle down and take out one of those smaller health pool heroes. He can focus on the tank if that makes more sense in that situation. And overall, because of all those large chunky health pools giving him more total health, in the past if he killed a Reinhardt, or if you killed a Roadhog, or if you killed a Tracer, you would only be getting 50 health from each one of those kills. But now you're going to be getting significantly more health if you're focusing down those tanks and chugging away that damage. And then there's also the fact that when you're in situations where you're not even going to be able to secure the kill, and you're just doing chip damage from far away, you're receiving incremental healing. I am chipping away and doing more damage for a longer period of time, staying alive longer, and again, that translates into quicker ultimate generation. And speaking of his ultimate, now very, very strong. If you're dropping an ultimate on anyone but those small health heroes, you're getting that healing in return. I mean, it's kind of starting to sound like a broken record here, but it's really pretty clear that the new Reaper is much better off and in a much stronger position. Now, what does this mean for Reaper as a whole? Well, this doesn't change necessarily what Reaper's strengths are, or rather what his weaknesses are. There are certain engagements and certain situations and certain team comps where Reaper is going to have a very, very hard time, and none of that really changes. But in the situations where Reaper does excel, and when you can get up close to the enemy, and when you can try to focus on and get down those tanks, you're gonna just be a lot better at that skirmishing, that brawling, those engagements. It's gonna be much better and feel better as a Reaper player. Again, you're not gonna have to try to hunt down and work down quickly those low health heroes just to get some health back. You can focus on your main target if that happens to be a tank. So overall, while Reaper isn't gonna be as much of an all-arounder as someone like Soldier 76, while he is still very much so a situational hero, he definitely feels much better. I've been enjoying playing him much more often, and when I see him on my team or the enemy team, it does feel like he's being a lot more effective, and he's staying alive a lot longer, and having to use Wraith form less often to escape danger. It's a really great change to Reaper. I'm very happy that they've made this change. All right, everybody, that's gonna do it for me here today. Just wanted to talk a bit about my experiences with Reaper. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you have a good one, and until next time, I'll see you later.